right. Thank you. I will now call the Wednesday, September 11th, 2013 Committee of the Whole meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Williams?
Here.
Councilwoman Waldman?
Here.
Councilman Maldonado?
Here.
Councilwoman Fairclough McCormick?
Here.
Councilman Shelley?
Here.
Vice Mayor Berger?
Here. I'd like to go just take a moment of silence for the victims and all the heroes that came about on 9/11, and just give a quick remembrance as the chief and some of his people went up there to help New York City at the time. So if we could just take a quick moment of silence for them, I certainly would appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Manager, any additions, deletions, or deferrals? Thank you. Oh, let me get my glasses. Okay, car number 953, the amendment of the City Manager Employment Agreement.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving an amendment to the employment agreement between City Manager and the City of Homestead to provide for a 2-year extension of the term of the employment agreement, providing for implementation and effective date.
Is there a motion? Moved. Is there a second?
Second.
And moved and seconded. Thank you. I think back around May or June, I reached out to our attorney, Richard Weiss, and I knew with an election coming that the city needed some stability. Not having a crystal ball and seeing where we're at today, we need stability more now than ever. And I've sat through, this will be my third or fourth election, and I've seen the turmoil that comes with each and every election. And I think we're on the right path here. In fact, I know we're on the right path with the management team that we have in place. And I felt that it was imperative on my part to extend his employment and keep the city righted in the direction it's been. He's got a heck of a team working for him. They have found all kinds of problems that they have resolved. I won't go into them unless somebody wants specifics. Our departments are running smoother than ever, and I see the morale very, very high in our city with its employees. So with that, I applaud George, and I say thank you. And with that, I'll also open it up for any questions or comments from anybody else on the dais. Thank you. Councilwoman Waldman.
I, too, had gone to Richard Weiss, and of course, Vice Mayor and I didn't know we had done that, and it just shows such a strong vote of confidence for our city manager. I think he's done a fantastic job. He's led us through some really dark times lately, and even before that, he's been with us now 3 years, right? And I remember the day he was validated and we voted him to be our city manager. It was a very, very happy and lucky day for all of us, and I speak as a citizen, because he came into a situation that was very trying and difficult, and look at the budget. I mean, that should speak volumes to be able to hold the line like we have and still have the services that we have. Not to say that he didn't want us. It's going to be a tough road the next couple of years, but I just have the greatest respect for you, and I wholeheartedly hope that my colleagues all feel the same. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Shelley.
Mr. Vice Mayor, I mean, I'll echo the comments of my other colleagues, and that is I think that Mr. Gretzis has done a fantastic job since he came in. You know, we did a national search and had a chance to interview many quality candidates, and ultimately he rose to the top during the interview process, and he's done nothing but prove himself since he's been here, and I think he's probably one of the best decisions that we made as a council was to bring him to our city. And he's really made a transformation, and you see it in the respect he has from his employees and the level of commitment he has to the city. And also by leading his employees, you see the level of commitment the employees have to him and to the city as well, and he's really raised their level of output and their level of achievement here. And so I completely support you, and I thank you very much for all your efforts.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Ms. Fairclough McCormick.
To the Vice Mayor, let me just say, leading is not easy. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions that may not be popular but in the best interest of your community. Sometimes you have to inherit war wounds and carry them that many people may not see. So it has been very difficult for you to lead in the city of Homestead, but you have forged full steam ahead in the best interests of this community. Are you perfect? No, none of us are. But are you professional? And I say yes, resoundingly. So I thank you for loving this community, not more than I love it, because I don't think you can do that, but just as much as I love the city of Homestead. And I am honored to support this agenda item because I think it's in the best interest of this city. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Maldonado.
Test, yes. Mr. Manager, I remember the day that those resumes came before us, and I said it the first time. I basically looked at all of them, and I separated them all but one, and it was yours. And the reason I did that is because I saw that on paper. I said, if this man can do what he did over there to the city of Homestead, then I think this is the person that's going to, get us to where we want to be. And so I said it back then, and I said it again. You were my first choice and still my choice today. I know that you've done a good job, and I applaud you on your efforts. I think we all feel comfortable with that. Our community shows that and their support to you. And I've heard many, many great comments in reference to that. Congratulations as we move forward. I know that we're heading in the right direction, and we have a great future with you leading us. I did speak to you earlier today, and I think the only thing that I had, not an issue but a concern, was the timing and where this happens. I think Vice Mayor Burgess did the right thing, and where he brought it forward, where it's a time that's iffy for us or questionable. And so thank you, Vice Mayor, for making that hard decision. But I feel uncomfortable being put into that decision. And so what I would like to see if we, moving forward, can have a time set, maybe like on a month of December or January, the beginning, end of the year, and where we can have this management review process. I don't have a problem at all with the city manager. I stand by you 100%. The only issue that I had was just that, I got an email on Monday at noontime, and in reference to this, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get to it till the next day, midday, and so there was no time to really sit down and at least have a discussion with you, and that's something that I'd like to have in the future, so that if you would help us to do that, would be the only thing that I ask moving forward, so that we set a standard for the city, so that none of us have to be in any type of position that is uncomfortable. And that's the only thing I would ask in this. But other than that, good job.
Mrs. Walton.
With all due respect, I totally disagree. This is not unusual. We've done it before, Chief. You know that I did it. I brought it forth in your contract several years ago. Yes, he's doing a thumbs up. And it's been done before. It's customary. Cities do it all across the United States. We don't know. And Jimmy, I don't want to hear you ever say that again, that you may not be up here now. But we don't know who is going to sit here in November. And we know the job that he's done. We owe him the opportunity to have the people that know what he's done to have the opportunity to vote for this gentleman. So with all due respect, I just had to put that on the record.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Williams.
There's only one problem I have with the contract, is that I thought about 4 years and not what is printed. So, I think, I thought about 2018. But to say, George, you've had you've had a interesting career here within the life of the city, and I think this is one of those transitional years that we're about to embark on, and so I'm advocaatly supportive, because you've been nothing but professional in your due diligence of your work and your work ethic, and the staff follows you and your lead. But I'm very supportive of what your endeavors are. And we had an earlier conversation today about the issue, but I have no qualms about the work in which you have done here in the life of the city. So I'll leave it at that. I want to hear, I think there's some more comments I want to hear, and then I'll go from there.
Councilwoman?
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. When I look at these issues on the agenda, I think about the pros and cons, and I thought about the timing of it. It is before an election, and I'm sure many residents may think about the timeliness of this contract. But then I thought to myself, I said, okay, if we wait until after the election, will that change my vote? And no, it won't. So if we vote for it now, or we deal with it after the election, my commitment to you will not waver unless you do something that is detrimental to this city, then shame on me. But I'm ready to move forward with this now because I am confident in your ability to continue to serve in this community with dignity, integrity, and respect. So I am going to support this item tonight because I would support it in December if it comes back then, but this just gives me an opportunity to pledge my support to you early on. So that's what I'm going to do tonight.
Mr. Shelley?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Same sentiment to me. I've had a chance to work side by side with George on many projects and many issues over the last 3 years or so since he's been here, and nothing, is going to be different for my vote tonight versus, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. So I do support going forward with this tonight, and again, making sure that we can make sure that we have stability going forward, and I think that's critical in our current stage of where we are in a city, as a city, and so I support it fully tonight.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up comment, just to be clear. Like I said, Mr. Manager, you have my 100% support on this, and with the decision of making this decision tonight, the only question that I asked, what I asked him for help, is to define a time outside of election time. At the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, I want to move forward with a decision today. I'm comfortable with that. Because you have done an exemplary job here in the city of Homestead. We know that. So that's not my issue at all. And I've had a discussion with the city manager today, so he's always had my support, still has my support. Just moving forward, I'd like just to see a different time that we're doing this. Whether it's customary that we do it now, I'm just asking for a better time other than a few weeks before elections. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call for the vote. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Wait a minute. Question procedurally. I'm not sure, but who's over management review? Who deals with that? Is that? Yep, that's you. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm ready to vote then.
Okay.
Councilwoman Walden,
100% yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fairclough McCormick,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Burgess,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody for Thank you. Thank you to George, because he's brought a great deal of integrity and professionalism to this city that I'm not saying was lacking, but I think we took it to a new step when he came here several years ago. So, George, thank you very much for all that you've done for the city, the citizens, and especially the staff.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And
Thank
for
you,
us up
staff.
here.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Yes.
I think we should nominate that film for a documentary. That was absolutely fantastic. And before all the staff leaves, I was so emotional when I was watching it. But I know Patricia and I were sitting here.
And
But
special recognition to Begonia, who put the whole
Yeah,
thing
you
together.
did.
beautiful,
Good job.
beautiful, beautiful. what is it, the Sundance Film Festival, I think we should, or the Miami Film Festival. It was fantastic.
Vice Mayor, I was going to ask if we could would it be appropriate to play it on our channel so the city could see that we're doing?
Sure.
So on our channel?
Absolutely,
Okay.
Thank you.
absolutely.
All right, let's move on. We've got a lot of items to do tonight. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your vote of confidence there. Tab number 1, car number 951, bowling alley discussion. Do we need a motion, Richard, or are we just going to talk about it?
Just have a discussion. I think it's
Okay.
just a discussion item.
All right. How about we start with the staff report then?
Sure, I'm bowling alley.
Yes.
Basically, as you know, we've been soliciting proposals for bowling alley. We have 3 proposers that are here tonight to give their vision for what they want to do. Their offers are here. They'll explain them a little bit. And then obviously we'll need some direction on, are you still interested in doing something? Do you have a favorite here? How would you like us to proceed? So I thought we'd go in order of the report. We have the Approach Entertainment Center is number 1 on the list. So
Okay.
with
So-
that, Approach.
Okay. And gentlemen, I know that everybody's here. We've got a lot of things to go through still tonight, so I know everybody wants their fair shake of time, so if we can keep them like 10 minutes or less, please. 10 minutes to the maximum would be fantastic.
Excuse me, down here on the far end. How many do we have? How many?
We've got three
Three.
companies here to represent themselves tonight. Mr. Kaufman, nice to see you back, sir.
You need my name and address and everything?
I think your microphone might be off.
It's on. Okay. Mr. Vice Mayor, do you need my name and address and everything for the record?
If you could, please, and maybe introduce everybody so the ladies will have them in case they're going to speak.
Okay. Henry Kaufman. I reside at 1055 Northwest 19th Terrace, Delray Beach, Florida.
Joshua Kaufman. I reside at 8112 Southwest 73rd Avenue, Apartment 6, Miami, Florida, 33143.
Andre Pamplona. I reside in 23751 Southwest 110th Avenue, Homestead, Florida.
Randy Pope, 8551 Southwest 210 Terrace, Cutler Bay, Florida.
Thank you.
Members of the council, city manager, all of you in attendance tonight, we'd like to thank you for the opportunity to submit our letter of intent. Our proposal for the development is very similar to the one we put before the commission a year ago, and it consists of a 32-lane center, restaurant, bar, billiard tables, redemption arcade games, pro shop, training center, and meeting rooms. The front of the building would be used as a retail space, and we're currently talking to several prospective tenants on that. Our proposal outlines our view to purchase, our cash for the offer for the land. At the time we tried to work this deal with the city a year ago, we were at the bottom of the economy. It was very difficult to put together financing. We've attached in our proposal a copy of our SBA worksheet on this. We have been independently, even though the city did not have the property, out there negotiating with SBA for close to a year to try to put together a package on this, and subject to bringing them a actual purchase and sale agreement for them to approve. We're at that point with them now. The benefits of having a bowling center in the city of Homestead are self-explanatory. We've talked about it here in the past. Your continued interest in this, represents that. We're hoping the council gives us, and even all of the other proposals here tonight, a chance to really sit down formally with staff to discuss this. This was put out as a straight proposal, letter of intent. We have some other ideas that we'd like to discuss with staff that could be of greater benefit to the city, and we'd like the opportunity to do that in a normal type of give and take environment. And we hope that you will allow whoever is going to do this proposal ultimately with the city to create a win-win environment both for the business and for the city. And we thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any questions for this particular group? Okay. Hearing,
Wait, this is, what's the name of your organization?
The Approach Entertainment Center.
Say that again?
The Approach Entertainment Center.
they're the first one listed on the
Yeah,
agenda.
but I think we're taking them, their proposal is what number?
It's under Approach Entertainment.
Right, but
If you go,
I'm trying to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. You just said something about the SBA.
Correct. We attached a letter of intent along with a two-page SBA document with that from SunTrust Bank.
So you're saying that this is, that what kind of letter of this? Is this saying that they're going to fund what you're talking about with the bowling alley, or what is this? Tell me what this product is. Tell me.
What this is it's considered a preliminary, like a pre-approval finance.
So
A pre-approval for financing, as you're aware, with a lot of, with usually lending requirements with banks until a purchase and sale agreement can be furnished. They're not going to fully approve a loan. This has been vetted by all of their underwriters in Richmond, Virginia. They're all on board pending the issuance of the purchase and sale agreement.
So, in other words, so you've not really been approved for the loan. This is just like a worksheet.
No, the bank pre-approved. It's different than not being approved at all. The banks issue these when in similar situations to where we are, where they believe that this deal is going to be completely financed. The purchase and sale agreement is going to be furnished. This is as far as the bank can go without the actual issuance of the purchase and sale agreement.
George, is anybody from finance that have looked at these documents that can perhaps seen this or done any checking on it to validate what they're saying tonight?
We haven't done a whole lot of due diligence here. What we thought we'd do is first let everybody do their presentations and then get some general parameters from you, because we're not really clear at this point whether you're even still interested in going this way. We know there's some mixed feelings in terms of selling, leasing, doing something else with the property. And so what we thought we'd do is first have the proposers give their vision, and then we could get some parameters here. We wouldn't ask you for a final decision tonight, but rather, if you like one of these proposals in general, then we can start the negotiation process and the due diligence process.
Okay, well, let me ask the city attorney.
Yes,
I'm just teasing.
1 second, sir.
No, I'm just teasing. So, based on the information, we've really not combed over it. We just...
No, because quite frankly, I mean, some of the offerings, you know, the price that they're offering is on the low side. On the other hand, we're expecting that they're going to explain what their rationale for that is, and we really haven't started any negotiation process with anything other than we felt everybody should have a fair opportunity to present their vision for the site, and then to get some direction from you on if there's any of these three that you like in general and you want more information or you want some sort of negotiation process.
Okay. Another quick question, and you all may not have it, but I'm just asking, I know that I don't see did you all do a pro forma with, new pro forma with, what your...
Yes.
Okay. Did you provide it in the packet, or you just...
No, it was just a letter of intent with the SBA information.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Kaufman, thank you. Good seeing you again, sir.
Thank you. We thank the council for its time.
Next is the Elite Real Estate Investments.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Carlos Sanchez. Good evening. Hi. My name is Dr. Carlos Sanchez, 51 South Homestead Boulevard, based in Homestead.
Isa Hatem. I reside at 22520 Southwest 250th Street, Homestead, Florida.
And Steve Shiver, 47 North Chrome Avenue, and 15960 is my office, 47 North Chrome, and 15960 Southwest 250th Street is my residence. Louis, I'll let you.
Louis Benasco, a residence at 6000 Collins Avenue, apartment 304, Miami Beach, Florida 33140.
Just to open up for a second before Louis goes into the presentation, just the other day, one of our media outlets erroneously printed that I was buying the bowling alley. Kind of funny when you look back at it, but my phone started ringing off the hook. In fact, there were people saying, good, we need to move that along. It's time for something to happen at that bowling alley. Either knock it down, build on it, redo it, do something to that project. And about a year ago, we entertained, in fact, Isa, as he sold his hotel to Dr. Sanchez, we entertained a group, in fact, here tonight, looking at buying the bowling alley. But there was an exclusive listing, or excuse me, an exclusive negotiation at that time for an extended period of time. So we weren't really allowed to discuss it. But over that time, we were able to talk more to Dr. Sanchez, who just invested over $3 million next door to buy the Best Western Hotel. And at this point, he said, you know, I'd like to incorporate that into a destination recreational facility. What does that mean? He said, well, let me get to work and I'll show you. So tonight, Louis is going to show you the presentation of the work that's been done over the last several months in putting together a truly showcase recreational facility for the city of Homestead. I think you'll all be proud. Louis.
Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the council, thank you for the opportunity. I want to quickly run through a presentation that we have put together so we can go ahead and show you the vision that we have for the property that we are speaking about. Hout Lanes Family Center, Homestead, Florida. What are we attempting to do? We want to build the next generation family entertainment. We want to make sure that this place, it creates, along with the hotel, the day scene that it's directly adjacent to it, a compound of entertainment and hospitality for the residents of the city of Homestead and the visitors to it. Our mission, we want to make sure that it's safe entertainment, affordable, and it's all under one umbrella. So basically, like Steve said, since we already own the property next door to it, we want to make sure that we open this and we create an entire entertainment center that allows us for the guests of the hotels, the residents of the city of Homestead, and additionally all the other adjacent communities to come in and enjoy these kind of facilities. A little bit on the location, as you guys might know, it's directly located on US 1. It's in a corridor where we feel that we have to create a destination place. We have to bring the people in. It doesn't have a lot of exposure that we would like, since we have a large parking area in the front, but we want to make sure that we create a good enough destination place that we can allow bring the people in from Homestead and other communities as well. Little bit on the facility details. You guys might know, single-story facility built in 1991. Demographic data. This is the data that we base ourselves in regards to our vision. We want to maintain the 44 lanes that we have, that the place currently have. We feel that the city of Homestead and the residents could definitely use a full facility that will allocate the entire lanes that the bowling place currently has. Here you can see a little bit of the current conditions of the place. As you can see, it's is quite run down through the years of not being in operation. We do foresee some challenges bringing this to life, but you know, it's definitely something that we feel very, very confident on tackling. We picked the best. We went with Brunswick because they have the knowledge, they have the experience, they know what they're doing when it comes to creating bowling alleys and entertainment center. So we basically partnered with them in regards to building one of their famous entertainment center facilities, so we can create something that is unique to the area, very updated, very new, with a lot of technology, and with all of the services that a full entertainment center could provide to the patrons. A little bit of what we have planned outdoors, something very modern, very up to date. We want to tie in the NASCAR that Homestead is known for. We want to, you know, be in hot lanes. We want to make sure that we showcase some of the NASCAR vehicles, maybe some of the NASCAR shells with some flames around it. Make it theme. Make it that people really want to come to this place, not just necessarily because of what we have inside, but because how we theme the place out. Bowling lanes, state-of-the-art bowling lanes. We want to make sure that you know, the bowling lovers do really enjoy coming to bowl here with the latest technology. We want to have projectors, TVs, make it very, very dynamic. We additionally want to make sure that we entertain and we try to bring in some of the bowling competitions that were done here before. So this, you know, these lanes will be to the standards that they will be expecting as well. We will also have an interior area of billiards and darts, basically for the older crowd that wants to come and play some pool, enjoy a nice drink, play some darts. Even our dart machines will have online connectivity, so they can even play it against some other people playing darts online. All technology for them. We want to cater to our most important patrons, which is the kids. We want to make sure that we build a good arcade for them. They can be able to get tickets, they can be able to change the tickets for nice stuffed animals in the little inside store. We're going to make sure that the arcade is safe. We're going to have one way in, one way out. We want the parents to feel comfortable leaving the kids in the arcade. We're going to have an electronic tagging system, so we make sure that the parents, you know, pick up the kids, and there is no problems in regards to that, so everybody can enjoy the time within inside our facility. We're going to have a cafe and a bar inside. Bar with the sports shows and all kinds of stuff showing, and a nice snack bars where all of the patrons can enjoy food right when they're bowling or where they're enjoying some of the facilities inside. Pro shop and service counter. Of course, we're going to make sure that all of the bowling fans that they really take it seriously, they'll be able to purchase, you know, the hats, the shoes, and all of their bowling needs. And additionally, we have also a state-of-the-art service counter to make sure that the service is the best possible that we can provide. Additionally, through the outside, in the area which right now it's, I believe, a carpet store, we're going to build out a gym, a full gym that, again, adults can enjoy as the kids are playing, or they can just come in and have access to a full fitness center with classes and many state-of-the-art equipment as well. We want to employ a lot of technology, as I said, so we're going to use this technology to market this, make sure that we are successful. We're going to use social media. We're going to use online reservations for the lanes and for the other services that we provide. So basically, we're going to make sure that, you know, we get out there and people know who we are, and we're going to use technology to do so as well. Players can play online, bowling on, with other people. Their scores can be online. And we're going to even use all the TVs that we're going to have across the facility, so we can advertise most of the events that we're going to be having in there, so that way everybody is aware of what's going on. Additionally, we're going to make sure that, you know, management of the place, it's also very highly technical, so we're going to make sure that we can correct, you know, the pin setters wirelessly. We're going to have wireless POSs so people can order all throughout the location, food, drinks, and whatnot. So we're going to make sure that management-wise, we're covered technology-wise as well. And nevertheless, we want to make sure that bowling is a fun. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for the adults, and it's fun for everybody that comes in. So you're going to be able to choose your own theme as you're bowling. You're going to be able to make sure that this is a fun thing that you want to do. If you want to play against with some friends, we're going to have other games that are, that are play based on your scores of bowling within bowling. So, you can win other additional prizes that we're going to have just to make bowling as well more entertaining for everyone. A little bit on the restaurant. This is the current restaurant that that is there right now. This is the state what it is. It's very similar to the area of the bowling alley. It needs large renovations, and that's something that we'll definitely see tackling. What do we want it to be? Well, we're looking to build something along these lines. Something very modern, but nonetheless very homey, very in sync with what Miami and South Florida it's all about. Our culture, our Latin flavor. I think that most of the residents and especially the visitors will definitely get to taste and enjoy some of the foods that we all love and we're proud of here in South Florida due to our culture. Here's a little bit on the food. We want to actually introduce a small plate Latin American fusion kind of cuisine. We want to make sure that people enjoy different tastes of different flavors. So instead of having large plates, we're gonna introduce something a little bit more modern and a little bit more up to date in regards to saying smaller plates with all different kind of flavors that they can taste them. And additionally, with the drinks as well, we have a great variety of mojitos that we want to bring in, and with a lot of different tastes, so we can give that tropical flavor that we are looking for when we go to restaurants. It's a little bit on the decoration. We want to bring the old with the new. We want to bring what is a little bit of the history of some of our cultures, so people can know about them and then merge them into what is now. This is basically done so that way we can we can merge a little bit of what has been done with what we do now. Here we state some of the renovation challenges that we foresee. I mean, the place does have a lot of deterioration inside and outside. So we have studied all these challenges. We are we have already acquired bids from contractors. We know what it takes to bring this place to life, but we just wanted to show you the current state of this, the current challenges that we see facing. And what do we want to do? We want to actually build an all-in-one, Days Inn, a hotel which we currently do own, Hot Lanes, and the Guayabera restaurant, both of the projects that will go within the facility that we're speaking about. We want to make sure that it's built as a complex, a full complex, not necessarily one next to each other, but all into one location where people can come in and enjoy whatever they feel whether it's bowling, whether it's the food, whether it's the hospitality, whether it's the bars, or any of the other amenities that we're going to provide all across our facility. This is some of the additional branding concepts all throughout the Hot Lanes, and I just want to thank you very much for your time, and I want to pass this over to Steve.
Before any questions, I want to be very upfront. I mean, there are some. Sorry. There are some that require financing, some that require SBA loans and things of that nature. Dr. Sanchez does not require any financing contingencies. I mean, we are ready to go. He has already vested more than any other proposer that you have before you, in that he put a hotel on the tax roll a little over $3 million. And if you look at the price differential, as your manager mentioned, we are a little less in price. But we also create a value by joining those two properties together. I'm sure the chief, if he's still here, will tell you of the horror stories of the hotel and that facility mixing before. There were a lot of fights and a lot of problems there. So I don't think you're going to find anybody more vested in its success than Dr. Sanchez. And if you have any questions, please.
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Thank you. Dr. Sanchez, I don't have in my packet. What is your background?
I'm an endovascular surgeon. I've been practicing medicine for the last 15 years in Miami. I not only do medicine, but I have developed multiple businesses. I like to develop and build. And I see like I saw in the hotel, I see the opportunity in this next door property. I think that they will complement each other.
What is going to be your initial, how much you think is going to open up the doors with all of what we have just seen tonight? Or are there going to be levels or phases, for lack of a better term, phases for your...
I would like to make it all in one. I mean, it will be only one phase. We open...
All one shot?
Oh, yes.
What do you think it's going to take to do all of that?
You mean in terms of time or money?
Money and time.
Well, I'm not too conservative. I like to push the envelope a lot. And
what kind of surgeon did you say you was?
I'm an endovascular surgeon.
Okay, I got you.
The one that fixed stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in the vicinity of mid $2 million, $2.5, $3 million easily.
Okay.
Just the way it is.
And you plan on keeping it, or you plan on building it and then selling it off for?
No, the whole purpose of this is to keep it and to have as I said, there are two facilities. There will be two joining facilities in one, and I would like to use the family center to the amenities of the hospital. Not the hospital. I'm sorry. I mean,
I get you.
I just came out of work.
You came out of fixing on people.
To the hotel, and the same token, the hotel will,
Gotcha. I understand. I think it's a great concept. I follow you. My issue is, your numbers that came in. Is there any reason that in your bid that you bid at that amount or suggested the sale of it?
I've been talking to Brunswick, and if we went through the demographics, and we came up to, to make this successful, I need to watch the expense.
Right.
And to make this affordable for everybody, I need to keep it in within the budget, and that's what kind of we projected.
Okay.
That difference will be put into the property.
Okay. And that price that you talked about, is that within the 2.5 million, or that's in addition to?
That would be in that.
Within that
yeah.
amount. Okay. All right. All right. That's all. I applaud you for the extraordinary presentation. And then one last question is your time frame.
I'll try to do it in less than a year.
Okay. All right.
And
okay.
to do that, we'd like you to direct the manager to talk to us tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Shelley.
Thanks, Mayor. A couple of follow-up questions, kind of on what Councilman Williams asked, and that was I wanted to know the total cost you think it was going to cost you to bring to life what you presented, because it was a great presentation. I mean, what you have here is, is a great-looking product. But the concern I have is that when he asked me the question, you said it was $2.5 million inclusive of the purchase price, and then I'm looking at the prior presentation, and they're thinking it's going to be 4.3 or 4.4 million. And I know that I've seen the Coffins presentation before. They've been here before, and they didn't have nearly as grand of a plan as you had. So the concern I have is that they're thinking it's going to be $4.3 million to open up a bowling alley, and you're saying it's 2.5. And so I have a little bit of a concern there as far as not having concrete numbers, because that is a great concept. But I don't know that you can do it for $2.5 million.
It's like when you're building a house, you expect to spend a certain amount of money, but you ended up always spending more. So that's the kind of money that I would like to spend, but I know that, give and take is going to be maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. So there's always a contingency plan for stuff like that. I mean, sometimes you can get supplies cheaper than you expect, or maybe in a higher price range. As again, I mean, this is based on Brunswick conversations. They have an a la carte type of service that you can choose plans and you can get your own contractors. I've been doing not only, as I said, not only medicine. I build houses and I have buildings in Miami, so I can get the pricing in a way that I can manage.
And again, I'm not the expert in the field either, so I don't know whose number is right or wrong, or whether either one of them is even remotely close to what it's going to take. I don't know, but I just know off the bat, looking at comparison of the three, that was a concern that came up. I wanted to ask the question. I wanted to see your answer. And then a follow-up to that is, I know that, so what you're representing is that your purchase price of $500,000 is going to be cash. It's not going to be financing. But then when you talk about the $2.5 million, is that also cash, or you have kept that sitting on the sidelines ready to invest right this minute?
That's, I have a bank backing me out for that.
But is it a financing for
other collaterals? Yes.
Yeah, it's not contingent on the deal.
No.
No, but the question is, and the reason I'm asking the question is that we went through this many times. I mean, this is our fourth or fifth bowling alley discussion we've had here with different operators. And so one of the things that we discovered through the process was that purchase price is one thing, actual being able to accomplish the goal is another, and that requires that capital, that working capital, to go in there and actually fix up a very dilapidated facility and then bring it to life to what we all hope it will be, as a great bowling alley. And so not only do we need to make sure that the monies are there to buy the property, but there's also concerning that we don't choose a operator that can pay us cash up front, but then can't find the monies to actually make the dream come true. And so that's why I just asked the question, do you have cash ready to go, so that when we say, yes, go for it, you don't have to wait on a bank to come through, or do you also have to go out for financing for the final product?
Well, I'm going to have to go through a conventional loan, but I already have a strong relationship with a bank. I already purchased the next door property for more than $3 million. And I've been spending money constantly in order to improve that property too. I have all the properties as collaterals in Miami area.
And Councilman Shelley, to alleviate that fear, at your direction to the manager, if so be it tonight or when it may come, that would be part of the due diligence and the assurance of funds. And I assure you that he has access to capital. So that's not really going to be an issue, and you'll see that once we go through the due diligence period with your manager.
Okay. The only reason I bring it up is because this is like our fifth or sixth time doing this, and that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure last time we chose a company was that, that's why I guess the Coffins, they've already been through the process, so they already had their proof of funds, because we had many conversations about proof of funds last time. And so that would be my question, do you have the ability to show the proof of funds immediately prior to the due diligence? Because again, the problem is once you choose an operator and you give them that due diligence period, if you find out later they don't have the funds, then we've just wasted more time, and we've wasted a lot of time on this. So that's why I asked the question. And
I misspoke about the due diligence. I'm talking about the discussion with the manager, not a due diligence period. I apologize.
Can I add something? I would like to add that, the bank loan is a convenience to me. I have other businesses that are, cash flow producing businesses. I have 2 imaging centers, and I have a big, as I said, a huge medical practice that, I have a constant cash flow. That's not an issue.
Councilwoman Waldman.
Thank you. I can't wait to ask you some questions, because I know that the people in Homestead want a bowling alley. And lately I've been out and about a little bit more than normal, and I can tell you that that's all I hear. And having been a former bowler, you really had me until you said the scores could be online, and I certainly don't want my bowling score online. But with that being said, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the real estate aspect, because I've heard people call me and say, yeah, there's an appraisal for such and such. And I've said this before on the record, you can't compare apples to oranges. If you want it for strictly entertainment, that's what we have to think of as the value, not as a value of just a piece of land sitting on a piece of property. So with that being said, I don't have a problem with the price, because we have lost so much money. And when being in the mortgage business and the real estate business, I look at it as the time value of money. When something sits there and sits there and sits there for all these years, we're losing a portion every day, every second that ticks by. So I want somebody in there who's going to be able to do what you need to do. I think as far as the construction end of it, I mean, I think a simple line of credit letter from a bank, and Mr. Shiver, I'm sure you could provide that, and just something with a line of saying that you have that money available to you if you need it. I think that would certainly suffice. I'd like to see a little more down payment, if possible, in the earnest money account. But I just, I love the concept. I think it's going to be fabulous. The reason your concept appeals to me even more is that you've already invested so much money next door. And I've known you for many, many years, and actually he bought my aunt's house in Point Royal. Remember that? Like 100 years ago. And so he's done remarkable, and he's always been very quiet and humble as a business owner, and certainly one that we certainly love to have in our city limits. But Dr. Sanchez, I'm very excited to think that I would have somewhere that I could actually go. If only my husband had not sold my bowling ball at a garage sale when we no longer had a bowling alley. But with that being said, I'm very excited. I think your presentation, sir, I don't remember your name, but it was fantastic. I mean, I think you really gave us a great presentation. And I know that Ace would not have sold his unit to you unless he thought you could perform, and I know that you can perform. So I'm pretty excited about it. I want to hear more.
Thank you.
Thank you. One question that I have, as you say, you need 120 days to do due diligence for the building and whatever else, I believe. Is that right? Yes. Is that set in stone? Other people are at 60 days. I'm just trying to get a sense of when.
We can go 90 days if I have to, but, you know, to make sure that...
No, I was just wondering, because you're at 120 and the other two groups are at 60, so I'm wondering, you know, obviously you've been over to the building and seen it, and you feel like you need that much time to get where you'll need.
I need to make sure that, you know, what we're going to do is going to be successful, and I just asked for that amount of money, but it could be less. I mean, I'm looking into less time than that. I just want to have that flexibility.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Just a comment. When you were presenting, I was thinking about the field of dreams. Build it and they will come. And what you're proposing to place on this site is very ambitious, but I'm a little worried about, will you be able to deliver this product to the community?
Well, I'm ambitious, and that's why I came to,
Well, I like that.
I saw, I decided one day that I wanted to go into the hospitality business. Ended up buying a hotel down here. I love it. I love the people down here, and I have that vision, and I think that I can deliver it. I've done it before. As I said, I developed other businesses. I have two outpatient imaging centers that are very successful, and what can I tell you? I will make it happen.
I like that. Make it happen. That's my tagline. We're going to hold you to that if this goes through.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this group? Okay. If we could hear from the KSY Family Trust, certainly would appreciate it. And
thank you.
Former Mayor Steve Shiver, thank you for being here, by the way. I'd be in trouble if I didn't use that tag.
Good evening. My name is Paul Sasso, 7721 Southwest 62nd
Welcome.
Avenue, South Miami, Florida. I'll introduce Paula Carter.
Hello.
Paula Carter, 10331 Southwest 102nd Avenue, Miami, Florida, 33176.
Manny Gino, 7840 Southwest 170th Street, Palmetto Bay, Florida.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you. Vice Mayor, thank you. Council Manager, Gemma. First, I'd like to thank the amount of time and care that staff has put into working with us and talking with us. We really appreciate the efforts that they've made, and as a result, we are very interested in working and partnering with the city to create a world-class entertainment center. It to be exclusively a family entertainment center. Our position is very simple. We have a substantial amount of operating experience. The club has basically donated as I'm sure everyone realizes, Paula has donated her entire life, or dedicated her entire life, to bowling. Bowling is what she knows, bowling is what she loves, and bowling is a part of her. I've had the privilege to work with Paula and Don before his passing for many years, specifically in the bowling area, mostly on the legal side. My job during the day is an attorney to many individuals such as Paula. Manny has worked with Paula in the management of the various centers that they've had, and since closing the Kendall lanes, there's been a void. There's been a substantial void in our greater community, and what we would like to do is to bring back and to not only meet but surpass the needs that the bowling community has, specifically post-Kendall lanes. Our offer is all cash. It's all cash not only on the purchase, but also on the renovation and also on the build-out for the unit. I think working with the manager's office, we can work through the details. Our due diligence period is 60 days, close 30 days thereafter, and then start to develop the plan to get this done as quickly as possible. As soon as we can get plans approved, we're ready to build, and we'll build it as fast as we can.
Thank you. Mr. Shelley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Same kind of question I just had with the last group, and that is, so you're representing that you're going to pay the purchase price in cash, but then you're also saying that you have substantial cash or enough cash to actually do all the renovations to get it up and running as well, correct?
That is correct.
And what do you anticipate that the cost to renovate that particular facility will be? What are you talking cash-wise that you think you're going to need?
The initial research that we've done with regard to the bowling facility itself, we're probably looking at somewhere around $1.2 million to put the bowling facility back into proper bowling form. What we would like to do is to bring it to a level where, through Paula and her relationships with the bowling community, we'd actually be able to bring tournaments, not only leagues, but national tournaments back to Homestead, so we can showcase this as really being a premier professional bowling center, as well as being complemented by the family entertainment that we will provide as ancillary components to the center.
And that was going to be my follow-up question, is I believe that both prior presenters had something more than just bowling there. They had, I think we went through this whole process again before, and I think it was determined that bowling on its own will not support it doesn't make financial sense to only have a bowling center, that you need something, either a restaurant or a fitness center, an arcade or a hotel, something to help supplement the bowling alley revenues. I mean, that just seems to be what I've heard from time to time again. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it seems to be the same message I've heard from multiple presenters. Do you have any other type of ancillary uses that you're planning, or just the bowling center?
No, I think everything that revolves around the notion of being family entertainment is contemplated by the group. We obviously want a restaurant. We want to be able to have parties for kids. We want to have, a certain night entertainment within, the appropriateness of the particular site. So by all means, we're going to add components that will complement the bowling, but I was trying to stress that our primary focus is to bring a world-class bowling facility back to Homestead, and any other revenue that comes in, whether it be through the restaurant or through other ancillary complements to that particular site, is just added revenue that will help us support the project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. Anything from staff?
There's a variety of options that you have tonight, and we just wanted to first introduce this all. I think I'm actually very proud that we had numerous proposals tonight, and I think you saw some really credible proposals here. I think the first thing we need you to think about, and we don't necessarily need an answer tonight, is do you want us to continue to pursue the bowling alley concept? Because I think it's pretty clear that the appraised value that we have is for highest and best use, and if you're going to restrict the site to a certain amount of years of bowling, that certainly reduces the value. And then the question is, how much of a subsidy does the city provide? Because for every dollar that you reduce in your price in order to enable a bowling alley, then that's really a city subsidy if you could sell the property for full value for some other use. So that's just one thing to consider. The second thing to consider is, do you like any of these proposals? Do you need more information? Do you want to get a last best offers from all three? Do you want to talk to, do you want us to start negotiating with one or two or three? There's the do nothing option, which is we heard all this and we'd like to think about it. So we really are really open to whatever you want to do on this, but we're going to need some feedback, or if not today, some sort of a date, because they're all very anxious for an answer, and they've been very patient with us, and we're very appreciative to all of them, but they are looking for some direction at some point.
If I could. I personally would like to take until the 25th, where I could reach out to them individually, ask some more questions as I go home and think about it now that they've made some statements here tonight.
Sure.
And possibly if anybody else is in agreement with it, I'd like to sit down and look and be able to and possibly pick Gemma's brain a little bit and see what our staff has found out from these people and things like that.
Sure.
As we move forward. I don't know how anybody else feels. Mr. Shelley.
Mayor. I mean, that's fine with me if you guys want more time. I mean, I have a position now. I guess I'll share it, and then we'll see where the discussion goes. I mean, I'm kind of gotten bowler fatigue at this point. You know, we've been trying to bring a bowling alley here, and I support it. I'd love to see a bowling alley get open. I've always wanted to have one there. We've worked for 2.5 years, 3 years now, on trying to find an operator that can come in there, open that bowling alley, and bring bowling back to the city of Homestead. The problem is that every time we've tried it, it hasn't been successful. You know, people have grand dreams, but ultimately can't follow through. And so at this point, I'm a little bit bowler fatigued to say, look, all I want to do is put a bowling alley in this facility. I think I would like to prefer to maybe see what other options are out there, what other use of this land could there be, you know, throw that into the mix versus trying to be pigeonholed into a bowling alley only, because I haven't really been happy with any of the offers that have come through at all. I mean, from day one, I've always complained, you know, they've even been $500,000 or $850,000, and I understand, you know, what the appraisal is versus the restrictions for putting on the land, and is it height and best use. I mean, there's a whole bunch of arguments that can be batted around and discussed and determined, but at this point, I'm not sure that I concur that the discount that we're giving is worth the cost, so to speak. And so I've always had concerns about that. I've never been happy with anything that's come forward. At the other hand, I mean, if my colleagues, the majority of my colleagues, decide to go forward, you know, I'm okay with pursuing hopefully a better deal than what's currently being offered, again, by all three applicants or all three presenters. But me personally, I would like to look and see what other options are out there other than bowling at this point, and then reassess where I am.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Vice Mayor.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Maldonado. Go ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Maldonado.
Thank you. You know, I think we've heard it over and over again that the city, when I speak to the residents, you know, I was against it initially. I was for school, if you recall, and I got a pretty good beat down from that. And the residents let me know that, you know, we need some type of family entertainment here. So I'm in favor of pursuing the bowling alley aspect, and so at least I'd want to make sure that bowling alley as opposed to anything else at this moment. And I'll hold the rest of my content. I'll hold out for anyone else that wants to say something.
Yes. Through the Vice Mayor, just very briefly. I would like to see bowling in the city of Homestead. The residents that I've spoken to would like to see bowling.
Mm-hmm.
The Mayor's Youth Council is lobbying me to support bowling, bringing back bowling to Homestead. So I would like to see bowling. But B, I think we should negotiate the price a little bit more. I'm not necessarily comfortable with the offers that we have received so far, and I think we can negotiate a bit. So that is my direction.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a report, didn't we do an analysis as to what the cost would be to renovate at one time? I can't remember.
We had
I
one of the
should ask you.
one of the proposers had some estimates, but we haven't done our own independent analysis.
Okay. Okay, because what scares me, and I don't want to I want to speak to all of you, is that, you know, I'm just afraid that what happened to the last buyer when they got in there and started doing their inspections, then they walked away. So, my number one concern is that we do keep bowling in Homestead, or bring it back. We haven't had it in a long time. And we've been looking for a buyer for this property for years and years and years. Not, you know, I mean, it's just been horrible. So I'm good with what the Vice Mayor wants to do. Excuse me, wait till the 25th. Is that your date? Wait till the 25th.
That's our meeting.
To get, I think so, to give us some time to meet with you individually. But I am 100% for the bowling. With all respect to Mr. Shelley, and I know, you know, he's very careful to make sure we get the best bang for our buck in Homestead. But again, I go back to that place has been sitting there for way too long. And our children, I mean, yes, we now have these wonderful schools, and they have their activities at the schools, but there's nothing for them to do. And I know when my son was growing up, we had a skating ring, we had a bowling alley, we had a brief time that was something in Florida City, like a water theme thing, and there were just all kinds of things to do. So by now we don't have that. So I'm and not only just for the children, but for the adults, some good, clean entertainment. And I just love the concept of doing a multi-complex there. So with that being said, Vice Mayor, I certainly would support your suggestion.
Thank you. And one reason I said that I would like to talk to them individually is obviously some people don't want to, with their proposal, they may not want to put all their cards out on the table tonight. We had one group that put every card. There was no Texas Hold'em there. It was Texas Show'em. And maybe some other people were reluctant to do that. So that's one reason that I would like to be able to reach out to them. Two, I would also like the manager to maybe be able to talk to them and see if this is the final price that he could share with us. And then I'm looking to spend a little bit of time with Gemma, as she's talked and spent time, hours upon hours of talking with these people and doing research on it and trying to entice people down here. So I'd like to pick her brain a little bit and see what her thoughts and ideas are that I'm sure I haven't even thought about yet. So that's my reasoning. I'm looking for the 25th. Mr. Shelley.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Just one last. I think that if we're going to go forward with the bowling alleys and these particular type of offers, if we can't get a better cash price or a better purchase price, I mean, I think the other thing I really would like to look into would be long-term leasing then, because the biggest concern that I have is that we give away our property for pennies on the dollar, and it doesn't work, or they commit to 5 years, and at the end of 5 years they say, look, now we're going to build something bigger and better here. We lose what we sacrificed for, that we fought so hard to get here. And so that would be my other concern, is that if they're not willing to come up on the purchase price, which again, I understand that there's a huge investment to be made into this facility, and so that's part of why the purchase price is lower, and I understand that. Then I would lean toward, can we look at what kind of long-term lease can we come up with that satisfies all parties, so that if it does fail, we get it back and we can try this again, and we can keep our money, so to speak, on the sidelines, versus giving it away and then finding out 5 years from now they decide, you know, this was just temporary to get this property, and now we're no longer to operate the bowling alley and we're going to turn it into something more, and the city of Homestead only got a temporary, you know, reprieve. So that'd be my only other concern I just want to express as we go forward.
Yeah, we had discussed the leasing option with at least 2 of them. I guess the Kaufmans are back, so we haven't discussed with the leasing option with them a second time. But with the other 2 entities, they had real concerns about that, so we can raise it again. We like the leasing option ourselves. We felt for, you know, just to secure our position in the event of failure. On the other hand, they've got some real capital issues there, where if, you know, they're going to be investing money, it's difficult. And one other thing we'd want to do, assuming you're interested in one or all of them, is we'd want to spend a little time just doing some of our own due diligence just to see the financial capability do they have the ability financially to do these projects? And that would require just a little bit of a resource to do, but we don't want to do that until we'll have the meeting on the 25th then, and then we can get some direction from you on how you'd like us to proceed.
Or that, or perhaps, I don't know if due diligence can be done between now and then.
I don't think we're going to be able to get that much detail in a short period of time, so if you want us to not raise the issue till October, we could do that too, or you want to have...
Whatever people want to do, because, you know, in my mind, back several months ago, I thought, well, that's where we need to put our new police station, so I'm not totally sold
I understand.
on this either, because, you know, as we build and grow the city, at some point we're going to be looking for land, and I don't want to turn around and give a piece of land away for $500,000, and in 2 years, or a year and a half, whenever we're able to build a police station, now we got to turn around and spend $3 million to buy the land that we need. So that's something that
I understand.
I need to talk about with staff also as we move forward.
Question.
Go ahead.
We had an appraisal done last time, correct?
Roughly $2.6 million. That's highest best use. And so what we've been asking of all of these proposers is that we want some guarantee of a bowling use for a certain period of time. So that obviously diminishes that value, but that does, you know, by de facto then that means that to a certain extent you're subsidizing the bowling alley if you're willing to accept less than the appraised value. And then the question is, how much are you willing to subsidize bowling for, and how many years will you insist that there be bowling there? And so that's going to be the tug and pull of negotiations. But you have to first start with the question, do you want to do bowling alley? And that's where we're going to need a little more direction. So.
Anything else? Ms. Waldman? Mr. Melanata?
We're good.
Vice Mayor, I left the bowling pin in my office
Yeah,
thinking
I'm
it's
gonna
going
hit you
to
in the head with
attract,
that bowling pin. I'm tired of looking at
more
it.
bowling proposers, and here they are.
By
so.
the 25th, I'll be ready to make a decision one way or the other. Is that something that other people can do?
I'm good.
2 weeks from today? Is that agreeable with everybody's okay with that? Well, I think if any of the council members want to reach out to the different organizations individually, that perhaps we could get your phone numbers, and if we had questions that, you know, that we might have wanted to ask tonight that we didn't or weren't thinking of, or as we go back and look at what's been presented in the letters here, and as I can talk with Gemma or Mr. Gretzis, maybe they have a little more information or a couple things that, you know, they've spoke to you guys about, or that you guys have shared with them, that we might be able to pick from. Like I said, you know, everybody may not want to put all their cards on the table tonight. And I'd also like to see what our economic development staff person has to say, you know, about the project and where it's going to take the city and what it can do for the city and things like that.
Also, Vice Mayor, if I could point out, I'd appreciate it if it doesn't turn into 6 negotiation sessions where everybody's negotiating, because that's going to complicate matters. So if there's questions, but I would urge the bidders not to be negotiating with council people on the financial terms, but rather answering their questions, because at some point, if they direct negotiations, we're going to need some latitude there.
We would like to just simply say we look forward to the opportunity to meet and discuss the matter with you to the degree or to the extent that each of you needs in order to make a qualified decision in the matter. And I would also like to thank the opportunity to work with the manager's office to any of the points within the contract that will make it easier for you to make a decision, to make those as focused and as fine as possible. Thank you.
Chairman, do you have everybody's information? So we could get that sent to us through George's office or something?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Mr. Vice Mayor, so to be clear, 2 weeks, it'll give us an opportunity to meet individually if you so desire with council.
Or with the manager. I would hope that everybody will reach out to the manager.
Well, you had mentioned the due diligence, basically to let him verify funds, essentially.
Now, he said he wasn't going to be able to probably get that done at this time. If somebody wants to bring him some paperwork or something that says this is where we've got the money, just in case somebody has a question.
We'd be happy to do whatever he requests.
About that? Okay.
I mean, what would be helpful, if they're able to provide it within the 2 weeks, obviously, is in one case we're told the money is there, and they don't need anything. So whatever documentation they can provide us, that would be helpful. For those who say they're obtaining financing or they have financing secured, having some sort of documentation on that will help the body make a decision and feel
and
comfortable
everything
that you're able to, produce a result for them.
And everything will be held in the strictest confidence.
A question.
Yes, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, I know you all have added, but as part of the process, George, if you can make sure, for me, I know you can disseminate it with the information when you get it. I like to look at some performance from them.
Sure.
I don't know if we can add that to our request, perhaps.
Yes, sure we can.
But I know it's probably a standard, but I'd like to see some performance for what their project and to go forward.
Sure.
Along with the package.
And what we
I mean,
can do is we'll ask them for all the information that we're going to need. If they can produce it by the 25th, we'll let you all know. We'll get you the documentation. If they can't, we'll let you know we'll update you as things progress. One thing I would like to clarify, though, is there is a question about whether the material they give us is public record or not. So the likelihood is it's public record. Or at least they should assume that it is. So that'll be the other piece that they need to consider as they provide some documentation.
Right. I think when we dealt with the stadium, Lale, they provided, all of, these questions that I'm asking about the pro forma and, financing and all of that stuff to back up what they say that they could do. So if perhaps we can facilitate that. I kind of already have an idea of who I'm going to be supporting, but I just need those documents to help with that. I already made my decision based on some of the presentations.
Thank you. Mr. Kaufman.
One of the problems that I've had in previous discussions with the city relates exactly to the thing the manager said as to what becomes public record and what is not. And in our past dealings with the city, we were always very careful to communicate through staff and through the manager's office, and we never had contact directly with any council member here. And not being totally familiar with this area, I'm concerned with questions of being registered as a lobbyist and certain other things when to have one-on-one discussions with individual council people. And, I'm just concerned that we conduct business in a manner that's transparent.
I appreciate it.
And yet, if we have what we'll call trade secrets, or we would like to be able to have a forum where we can discuss those, and at least while the multiple negotiations are going on, even if it does ultimately become public record, that those secrets and those discussions and those potential offers, are kept in confidence from party to party. And I'm sure the other parties would like, the same thing. And I think we're all here to negotiate in good faith with the city. So I'm just, asking for the manager or the city attorney to give guidance on the correct way to handle this so that, we all do things properly. On another point, when you all were discussing costs of construction, the building's been vacant for a lot of years. It's suffered more vandalism since I was there. I think everybody at the city is aware the air conditioning system is non-existent and has to be replaced. Major big-ticket item. We understand that the electrical system has been heavily vandalized for the copper. Another big-ticket item, besides the work on the lanes and everything else. My other concern in talking to the manager, which is I think something the city is going to have to provide to anybody that's looking at this, is some information from the city's building department on how they're going to consider the status of the renovation. There's something called the Florida Existing Building Code. This gets into an area now where we're getting into very large dollars and compared to the appraised value of the building. And if we're deemed to be over the 50% cap limit or the 75% structural limit or other things that are established in the code, that entire structure may have to be brought up to current code compliance, and that's a pre-Andrew structural building, and it probably wouldn't do this. And I speak this as an expert. giving my best advice to the city, and there's also somebody looking to do business there. And I think that's a very important consideration for anybody doing due diligence on how this is going to come up. I also wanted to mention to the vice mayor, that a lot of us are looking at the short-term business and the long-term business with the land, and we're very familiar with the city's concerns, and we'd like to talk about that. And also, if the city needs another use on the property, such as a police department. When Macer's Construction built the original police department back in the day, I was the project manager. So I happen to know a little something about the Homestead Police Department. But there may be abilities to make multiple uses out of the land and to salvage other things from the city. And, we would appreciate that kind of dialogue and try to get as creative as possible, as I said in my presentation, to have win-win. And I'm sure the other folks here would like to do the same thing, because I think everybody here at the end of the day, has an interest in what happens here in South Dade. It's not just the city of Homestead. It's all of South Dade. I wouldn't be talking about bowling if it wasn't for Paula Carter. Joshua was taught bowling by Paula Carter. So, there's a connection here with all of us, and I think everybody's trying to do the right thing. We just need an appropriate forum.
Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, what I was going to say was that I think it's the responsibility of these bidders, and I would suggest respectfully that you all check lobbyist registration requirements. I know former Mayor Shiver is registered, but the other people that are doing business with the city it's your responsibility, frankly, to be. I'm happy to provide you some information, but it's your responsibility to figure out what the requirements are in dealing with the city. I wouldn't presume to give you public records advice. I think, honestly, you need to get your own counsel to give you advice on, how you do business with the city, so as to protect yourself, because I certainly wouldn't want to have that responsibility. I would, though, caution all of you that you need to register as lobbyists. You're all lobbyists. You're making presentations, and you need to register. And other than Mayor Shiver, I don't see any register. There might be one other one, but you need. So I think if you're going to try to do business with the city, I think it's your responsibility to figure out, what the rules are, what the parameters are, so that you do things properly.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor. And listening, Mr. Kaufman, in listening to some of your concerns as it relates to the structural code to the building, I think in assuming those roles and responsibilities with that, I think you already should have taken that into consideration, that this building could be such or could be an issue. And as it relates to in my office, I should say, there's nothing that there's no secret, because we're dealing with it's a public building, and we have to protect the integrity of the process and the integrity of what we have been elected to do. And so in my due diligence, there's certain information that I look forward to so that I can make an intelligent decision. I don't know if you're saying that there are certain documents that you're not willing to give because you're concerned about the public record that could be made of, or I'm trying to follow you when you're saying that you want to meet with perhaps some of the council. What are you? I'm trying to understand what you're asking.
I'm perfectly happy to deal through the city manager, but I think if the city is going to enter into discussions with three parties, that even if the documents do become public records, that during the time of the negotiations and the discussions, those documents be given some confidentiality between the various parties that are being negotiated with, because clearly each of us is trying to get to an end point. And we don't want to give away the farm, so to speak, as part of that. But the city will know all the sides, but I don't think that the other players should be privy to, in fairness, to each other's proposals and concepts during that point.
Okay, so you're saying to protect the, I guess, your information, which you're trying to give to, but how do we make a decision publicly if those questions are asked? It's impossible to be able to hold that.
I don't know if it can happen, which is why I referred it to the city attorney. I just, expressed the concern in the process.
Okay, I understand. All right, no problem. Thank you.
We'll coordinate with everyone in the morning. Gemma will reach out. We'll try to establish the best and cleanest process as possible for them to communicate with you and also to try to obtain information. Try to get everybody here at the 25th, assuming they can get their information. If you have enough information on the 25th to make a decision and you're willing, we'll have that opportunity. Or if you need more time or they need more time, we'll know about it at that time. And we'll see you on the 25th.
That work for everybody? Mr. Williams?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll see you on the 25th. We will have an answer one way, we hope. I say I hope. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Okay. Car number 941, swimming pool maintenance services, staff report.
Sure, sir. Be glad to. Vice Mayor, Council, on July 31st, 2013, staff was directed by Council to negotiate a contract with USA Pools of Florida for the operation and maintenance of the pool at Roby George Park. So on the car agenda, you'll see the three options that we negotiated, and more or less what we're asking, which part would you like, A, B, or C? And if you want me to answer any questions, I'll be glad to. Also, the pool, USA Pool, is here. They have a representative here tonight.
Okay. Mr. Williams, I know you had a lot to talk about the pool last time.
I'm beginning to see
And
them
it's
things
in your
singled
area.
out tonight, I looked at the options, and based on, Dennis, based on what my concerns were, I believe I think the first option number A, I didn't see any, other major. I didn't too much care for option B, or C. Really, I hated C.
Okay.
But if you can perhaps just give us for the public a synopsis of just very quickly of each one, what it entails.
Sure, Councilman Williams, I'll go ahead. Option A, it would cost the Parks and Rec Department $128,640 per year. The pool will be open for the public 7 days a week, year-round. The hours are attached. Pool will be available for rental by swim teams year-round, also for the high schools. And pool will have year-round programs. That would be option A. Option B was the one that you do not like, $88,700. Pool will be open for the public swim 7 days a week, only during summer. That would be June to September and Labor Day. And then we'll have available rental to swim teams and the schools to use, and there will be programs year-round. The last option is C, $111,000. It will only be open Saturdays and Sundays. During the summer, it would be open, of course, from June to September. The pool will be available for swim teams and rental, and it will have year-round programs.
Yeah, I really hate option B too, and C.
I recognize that one.
Yeah.
Councilman Williams, this will give you a little information that I asked my staff to find out how many people use it during the week. And we came up with probably 1 person to 2 persons.
I still hate option B and C.
Okay.
I just think that based on what we have said, through making the pool available, and I think you all were trying to ease my comfort when you said that certain parts of the pool can be areaed off or sectioned off in order to accomplish what, and to bring in persons to do swimming lesson and that sort, right?
Yes, sir.
So is that still an option to be able to do, even though 1 person comes to the swimming pool? I may make 2 now just because I know that. And it could be that that my school is in and everything else, you know. So I'm really, based on what you just told me, I don't want to go back and forth with you on how you obtain that information, but is that information based on when people are in school, the children are in school, or is that based on year-round statistic data that you've been able to come up with?
When we had the meeting in July, I asked the staff to find out what was our weekly, attendance, and they said the attendance was barely nothing at all. Because you got to understand, when school's in, a lot of kids are doing other programs, pee-wee football, baseball.
Right, exactly.
So you don't get, and the parents are, doing homework with the kids, so the pool's very slow. But the weekends are very busy.
Right.
So we were thinking that maybe we get when we negotiated, we thought about maybe the weekends and then have the programs during the week and have it open those days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the options I gave you, to give you a whole scenario of everything we wanted. But the one that you wanted was the option A.
Right,
what
but
you
I'm just saying I have a hard time really seeing that only 1 person during the week in the summertime, utilize.
Summertime is packed. That I'll tell
Every
you.
day, right?
Every day, sir.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Summertime, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Mr. Shelley.
Thank you. Just for clarification, as I understand it, the difference between option A and option C is that during the summertime, it's open 7 days a week for general use.
Yes, Councilman Shelley.
It's only once you reach Labor Day that at that point in time it goes to weekends to account for the fact that during the week only 1 or maybe 2 people is using the pool. So it's kind of a compromise between. Summer is always wide open. We don't restrict access in the summer when everyone's there, no one's in school. But after the summer, after Labor Day, from Labor Day through May or whenever school gets out, then it's only going to be weekend free swim, and then they'll be doing programming during the week. But the pool will still be open. It's just that it'll be programs instead of open free swim.
Yes, sir. Programs and also swim teams like the high schools that use it, and also swim teams that do Special Olympics and tournaments. So it'd be able for them to rent it. Yes, sir.
Okay. And again, I'm okay with whatever the council majority goes here. I don't have a real strong opinion one way or another, but I do see C as being a good compromise in that it saves us another $20,000 or so, and it doesn't seem like it's really restricting the access of the residents. But again, I'll go with whatever the majority decides.
Okay. Anybody else? Ms. Waldman?
Which do you feel would be the right one, Dennis? No, I want to ask Dennis. Of course,
I hate B.
You and Mr. Williams.
I
Okay,
hate
so
B.
you hate B.
Yeah.
So A or C?
What I would suggest, the one that I like is C, because we do have the weekends for everybody. That'll be the most time that kids will be there and people will be using it during the weekends. During the week, during the school time, our attendance is not that high. So we're giving the programs and everything during the day. And if you also see, they're also giving us 48 scholarships for swim programs for kids that can't afford it. So that's a great thing too. So we're getting 48 scholarships for that.
And
So-
that's with C.
No, all options.
With all of
We're
them,
getting
okay.
48 scholarships through the USA Pool to help people that can't afford to learn how to swim.
So it seems that C might be a compromise if we could get Mr. Williams to like it a little bit. but at least we all agree B we hate, right? Dennis hates it and Jimmy hates it. B's probably not going to be the one, but I'm like Mr. Shelley. You know, I'm willing to go with the majority. So
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. We can, if we take C and it doesn't work, we're able to go back, correct?
Of course, we have the right to negotiate or add or delete at any time.
Dennis, we don't have anybody in the pool now, right, during the week?
You're saying run into programs or?
Right. There's no programs going on right now,
No,
right?
sir, none at this time.
This company is going to come in to offer those programs, correct?
Yes, sir, like senior activities for
Exactly.
swim lessons, stuff like that. Yes, sir, during the week, yes.
Exactly, during the week.
Yes.
So, to be fair about it, there's nothing going on because there's nobody out there to facilitate those activities. And so, my issue is, can we do is there a certain period of time during the week, perhaps to have a compromise, maybe doing early morning to probably when school gets out, perhaps, for services or for programs to go on during that time? I mean, would that work, or no? You don't think that it will work?
Well, the programs that you're asking for, if we go with either one, the programs will be set by whatever days we want programs, because they work for us. So we can tell them we want programs in the afternoon, we want them in the morning. We can work with them on the times of programs.
Okay. I don't have a problem with going with option C.
Okay.
I still dislike it.
Okay.
But to create a happy medium, maybe perhaps, because I still have a lot of seniors going to YMCA, you know. I mean, they'll go to YMCA for pool, you know, they do jazzercise, whatever they do out there. But, you know, I do know that some of the residents go there because, of course, we don't offer that particular service at Ruby George Park. So we probably will see an increase based on the services that they can add through those times. So my question will be to you, I know you're saying that we can perhaps dictate the terms of it, but do you think that we can come to a happy medium of programming between whatever hours that the pool opens to time in the afternoon or evening to where, you know, maybe the last 3 hours of the day could be open for the public and the rest of the, you know?
Sure, we can do that. Just to let you know that 111 might go up because then they have to secure the pool for them day hours that we have, so that 111 will go up because then they would have to put the lifeguards there and that for that when they open to the public. So we would change the prices.
Hours of the pool are what time again?
Okay, the hours for the you want option C?
Just the hours. Just period. When does the pool open?
10 to 6.
10 to 6. Okay. All right. They already have swim teams already?
No, we do have renters that have swim teams that do rent it.
Okay.
So, you know, they will be working with, of course, you know, with the programmer that we have to rent those spaces for them. So they'll be practicing their swim things and that, and then you also have the high schools that use the pool for swim meets and their practices, which they are already aware of that.
Okay, all right.
So no one will be affected by that, just to let you know.
Okay, so they are offering 40 scholarships?
48 scholarship, yes, sir.
Okay. I'll be happy if they move it up 68 scholarships. I'll go with option C.
I'd have to sit down with them and see if I can negotiate that, but I got the 48 for you.
You're a smooth negotiator.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get you to 99.9%, sir.
I'm there. If you can, I'll go with option C.
Yes, sir.
With perhaps these other options within that the programming will, perhaps could go from maybe Monday, maybe from 10 until, I guess, the last 3 hours of the day.
10 to 3?
Yes. And then the pool reopens from whatever time.
3 to 6.
Right. If we can perhaps work that out with those 68 scholarships.
Yes, sir, we'll get with them on that.
All right. I got faith in, I'm at 100% now.
That's what I wanted.
Okay. You got it.
Thank you, sir.
And then, Dennis, if it doesn't work out, I'll be amenable in going back to the original C without, but I at least like to have it a try.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Where are we at?
He wants to go.
You'll be back to see us soon?
No, Vice Mayor, what he was telling me that we'll go with option C, but try to work out from 10 to 3 with programming, and then from 3 to 6 with the public, if we can work that out. If not, he's still happy with 6, and he wants 68 scholarships.
Okay.
That's option C.
So is that, Dennis has what he needs?
My assistant Pedro is saying that option A, Councilman Williams, if you look at option A,
Yes,
he's saying that's what option A is showing, the one you wanted.
I know.
So option A is one that would be, oh, you knew that. Okay, that's the one that was 128. So the way you want that would be the one.
Option A?
Yes, will be the way you'd like it.
Okay. Well, then I like option A.
Option A. So we're going with option A, Vice Mayor.
Next item.
And Dennis, if it doesn't work out, let's go to option C. All jokes aside, if it doesn't, if they see that it's not working, or that it's not a benefit for the community,
yes,
then I'll be amenable to option C.
You got it. We'll go ahead and try it out and see how we do, and then
Okay.
if we do see that, then we'll go to option C then.
Okay. So we'll give it like 6 months or so.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
We'll do what you say, sir. We'll
Okay.
make sure it
Thank
happens.
you. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is card number 952, Planning and Zoning Board Membership and Attendance Discussion. This came to me from two people. The chairman of the board sent me an email, but more importantly, our attorneys and Mr. Cordino, the head of the department, contacted me. We've missed the last 2 planning and zoning board meetings because of the lack of a quorum. So the city, in essence, has come to a standstill in that department. Technically, the terms have expired for everybody on the board, but that board is set by the mayor, with their terms expiring upon the election of the next mayor, basically. So my question to the attorneys was, and maybe he can clear me, is what should we do? And we came up, so I just wanted to make sure this was good with you guys in case you've had a call or somebody that's trying to do business that said something. I'm reaching out to the members that are there. Mr. Powell's here tonight, he's the chairman. I'm reaching out to them individually and asking them if they will continue through, at least through probably November or December, because I'm sure it's going to take a few days by the time we do the process or whatever with the election to go through and get everything done. We're looking at a December meeting, and I'm begging them to please continue with what they're doing so that we can keep the city moving, and then that allows the new mayor, whomever it may be, to come in and see or make their recommendations to the council up here. Unless the board tonight, or the council tonight, would feel that we should go ahead and go through the whole process of accepting resumes and appointing a new P&Z board. Wouldn't hear until.
What will be, I mean, I guess your whole analogy will be to just wait for the.
Well, I
But
think
if the
that,
city business is being not.
and we've been assured a quorum for the next meeting. I think the clerk or somebody reached out to all the members for the September 26th P and Z meeting. And who were we talking to yesterday?
I think that, first of all, the problem is that these applicants are showing up at these meetings with their attorneys, with their consultants. They're sitting there, and and that the clerk tries to verify a quorum, and then someone calls at the last minute, and they're sitting there with 3 members or whatever it is.
Okay.
And so
Well, here's the issue then. If it's the people that are serving on the board, that's the issue.
Correct.
So,
But we could make a move because technically all of their terms have expired.
right.
So,
But if what I'm saying is, Vice Mayor, is that the issue is with the individual serving now. So whether we keep them in place or not, that doesn't look like it affects. It's going to affect the productivity of the group trying to convene and have all these applicants. So is it that we need to appoint persons who's got time to be able to do this? Because it seems like that's what the issue is.
that with the couple that I've spoke with, it seems that there has been not a loss of interest is maybe the wrong term, but not as enthusiastic as they once were
So then,
for the position.
I think then to be able to remedy the issue, just need to appoint some persons who's going to have because even if we just wait, we're still going to have to affirm it anyway of who those appointments are.
James, what's your thought process? You deal with it every.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we've talked about this. We had the conference call. I mean, the concern is that these people are only going to, the ones that you're thinking about appointing are only going to serve theoretically until the new mayor is elected, maybe a month after, depending upon when the new mayor focuses on this. And so to go through the whole process, a fair process of opening it up, advertising, all that. And I think what we sort of came up with was sort of an approach to nudge them, to either have the vice mayor give them a call, without offending them, saying, listen, we need you to come to these meetings. If you don't want to continue serving, that's okay. Just tell me so we can replace you, so that people wouldn't feel like in this short period of time we're sort of removing them from office or something. Their terms have all expired legally. So the concern is just going through this whole process, advertising, have people submit for just such a short period of time. By the time we get the resumes, we'll have missed the October meeting, maybe the November meeting by the time you appoint.
Yeah, I think I understand the philosophy of it, but then I'm thinking about it now. I mean, that's kind of ludicrous to clean shop with a new election time. I mean, you lose continuity, you lose the parity, you lose, persons within the loop. So if we're going to clean this up, then we may need to look at that.
The way the ordinance is written now is that people serve for 2 years or are done with their office upon the expiration of the term of the mayor who appointed them. That's the way the ordinance is written now, so that the concept at that point was that the new mayor would be able to come in and appoint the board. He could reappoint some of the same people for continuity. He or she could appoint some of the same people for continuity purposes, but at that point there was a focus on the authority,
Well,
power.
if I voted for that, that's bad policy on my end, because that's ludicrous to be able to do that.
The ordinance can be
Well,
changed.
we have to change under charter review.
Yeah, it's an ordinance.
It's an ordinance, it's an ordinance. It's an ordinance, right?
Correct.
That's what, yeah, if I voted for that, that's. But
I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. If they could, maybe if they see somebody that's there, nudge them along. And I was just making sure that, that what I was doing was agreed upon with everybody. Trying
Absolutely.
to keep the people that are there and shuffle them.
So your idea is to keep them there?
Try to give them a
But are
nudge,
they going to be
try
willing
give
to
'em a little more
serve?
enthusiastic about it for the next couple of months. And then, the process will be what it is when whoever's seated in the mayor's seat will take over.
Okay.
But I was, one, to let you guys know that we have had a problem, and two,
Right.
just to see, share and see what the,
But do you think we'll be okay, was what I'm saying?
we-
I mean,
we've
if they're...
been told that we have a quorum for the 26th of September. You know, and that's what we have to go by. We've got adults that are telling us and making a commitment verbally, so we hope that they'll stay to their word and that we can move the business of the city forward. Now, if it doesn't happen on the 26th, then we're going to have to do something, probably have to have a special call meeting soon thereafter and start the process ASAP so that we can move it along, because we can't continue to hold up the city.
Right, absolutely.
Mr. Shell.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had people that were supposed to be coming before the P&Z complain, you know, because they spent all this money, time, and effort. And it's embarrassing for the city to have these professionals show up in our community and not be able to even get members to show up.
Discourages people from developing.
Yeah, exactly. And so the only thing I support what's being proposed. I think that's the best way for you know, efficiency purposes, because you only have such a short period of time, and by the time you gathered resumes, appointed somebody, had a meeting, they're essentially getting kicked back off, and now we're starting the process over again. However, one of the things I might recommend is it possible to go ahead and at least advertise, you know, that there will be vacancies, and go ahead and start collecting resumes because of this particular circumstance where we have members who seem to want to move on. And so we can go ahead and start collecting those resumes for the new mayor, whoever that mayor might be, so that they have a pool of applicants, and that can be one of the first duties, hopefully, is to get our P&Z board back together and running. Is that a way of being a little more efficient with this versus having this take place maybe in January instead?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, all right.
Advertise now and leave with the idea that you'll have the resumes sitting there in a folder for
Yes.
the new mayor. The new mayor can come in and
Right. Make it quick. That way, maybe by December, these P&Z board members
I
are
think
serving.
I think that's a really good idea.
Okay, thanks.
Or if there is an issue, we can perhaps pull from that.
Right. You'll
list
start
that
at
we
the
will have.
process. If there's an emergency, you'll have a pool of resumes. Right. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
And thank you to Mr. Powell, because I know you're there and work hard at that committee, so.
Ed Powell, 745 Southeast 18th Lane, Homestead. Very frustrating to sit up at planning and zoning and not get a quorum. And the way the term is, we're all expired. And last month, Kevin Miles was replacing Jim Sutton, who resigned. Well, he's in the middle of a process as well. He was last month, so what? When the new mayor comes in, you look at him. But you still have the case of experience, 8 years experience. Now, whether a new mayor comes in and thinks that my experience contributes to the board, I don't know. But you have a couple of resumes. I know one for sure that was submitted, and happens to be Rich Urshik. Very dedicated, retired, military, been here, very involved with the back. You could, for the interim time, like I was when I first got appointed, I got appointed a special call. You could appoint him temporarily. At least he gets off and running. People get a look at what he does, and you've got another body available. That would be my suggestion. And I'm really, when people come to a meeting and they haven't picked up their packets and they're not prepared, I mean, I want to do this, but that's where we are. We had the case of Karen Gerardin, who I think she was probably willing to be on the board. I think we had a couple other cases. So let's look at those. If you have to get a quorum, not worry about, are we going to have 5 people? Let's get 7 here, and if 2 of them don't show up, we're going to have a quorum. Thank you very much.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is there opening now?
Not at this, well, technically there are 6 openings.
Right, I know that, but I'm saying,
No.
but there's no. So, Mr. Powell, you're saying to remove somebody, to put somebody else on there?
That nobody needs to be removed.
Well, no, that's not what he just said.
There's only one person on the board?
Richard, that's not what he just said.
Okay. What did he say?
I'm saying you could dismiss someone who doesn't show, and there's been one particular person who hasn't shown most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
You could dismiss that person, and I tried to 6 months ago, and appoint temporarily somebody who has
I got
a
you.
resume.
Okay.
So
So there are records that persons have not just shown up 6 months straight. But
Right.
isn't there a provision in our charter that
Right,
deals with that, 2
there
consecutive
is.
or 3
There is.
meetings?
Three
There
meetings.
is. There's
That they automatically dismiss?
No, the clerk notifies the council, and then the council has the ability to remove. The reason it's just a technicality. If there's a person on the board who hasn't shown up, they don't need to be removed.
Right, they're automatically.
They just need to be replaced because their term has already expired.
Yeah.
So they're just holding over until the next person gets appointed. So you don't need to remove anybody. You just need to say, Mr. whatever X, you've been replaced by Mr. Y or Mrs. Y.
So, and you're saying that this person that you have in mind has already submitted his vita or bio, his resume?
Elizabeth, do you have the resume from Richard Ersick? I had given you that a couple weeks ago. Pardon? Letter of interest? Okay. So if you want to look at it.
I don't, based on what we're already having a problem with a quorum, the person has not shown up, and they, you know, they've already have excluded themselves from the process. So technically there is a vacancy, so we need to, in order that he can continue and the board to work efficiently, need to put somebody there like right now.
One, I didn't want to overstep my boundaries, so that's why I brought it.
Yeah, well, no, I understand, but I think,
I mean, technically, I guess we could put, if we have some resumes on the 25th, we could
Yeah.
put some people on the board and hope they're going to be there on the morning of the 26th.
right, with
As-
the understanding of the change that could probably happen.
Of the temporary, it could be a 3-month appointment or whatever it could be.
So that would require you, the mayor, to not, vice mayor acting as the mayor, to nominate them and we'd put them on the agenda at the end of the agenda. And during the
As I
report.
get through the board, like I said, I only got a hold of a few of them today before I ran out of time, or I wasn't able to get a hold of them. Let me go through it and see if anybody surrenders their seat.
Right,
willingly.
they might say, listen, you know, I've gotten too busy
And
with
if
my
they
work.
do,
and
then we'll,
that's easy.
in the process, we are now collecting, or if we do have some,
Right.
and then I will get them from the clerk. I'll share, everybody will see them, and I'll make some
Just
recommendations.
to short,
and-
sir, you could also put on like the city, just in the next week, you could put on the city website, if anybody's interested, let them get the resumes to the clerk, and that way it would be at least disseminated somehow.
Right. Okay, I'm fine with that, Vice Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to make a bold suggestion.
Yeah.
Having sit here for all this time, it is my view that none of the items on the rest of the agenda are at all controversial. They are all extremely routine. There was one item that was taken off, but the rest of them are extremely routine. And I wanted to offer the option to you that you could make one motion and move them all on, unless somebody wanted to discuss any one of those options. I know that it's somewhat bold, but
I'll make that motion.
You've got to make that, we've got to see if Mr. Williams is up for that one.
I'm looking at the agenda now,
I'll make the motion. Thank you.
but I do see an issue that I would probably.
you can discuss them at the council meeting.
Right, well, I was gonna pull it, so that's fine, just to expedite tonight, so, but I do see 2 of them I may pull. Okay.
Okay, so we've got them.
Yeah, will it just be easy to pull those that I have an issue with now, and then,
Well, no, because we
No,
would need to
they'll-
move them
They'll be on the
now.
consent agenda, you'll pull
Right, we
them
would need
for
to
the
pull 'em-
council meeting, and
pull 'em
we'll
at the
discuss them.
Could you tell us which
Or
one?
tell us,
Vice
and
Mayor?
we'll just. put
I'll
them
wait
on.
till the council meeting then, okay.
So we'll know.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Richard's poor guy sat here again all night and never
Yeah,
got a
I would like to thank, Pete Wallman's here from my office on one of the items. He's our one of our eminent domain lawyers. Pete, sorry to keep you here the night. So,
I told him we tried to get him out of here
I
early.
fed, I
He knew
fed him a
was coming.
granola bar. I gave him a granola bar. I thought that was a good compensation.
Oh,
Moved, is there a second?
second.
Second, thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Elizabeth. And, as you
I had no idea.